Well, good evening, gardening friends. Welcome back to the channel. So, welcome to this week's garden video. Starting out in the backyard this evening. Hope you guys have had a good Friday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And I know mine would be better if I didn't have to work tomorrow. But it is what it is. I'm thinking more plants with the overtime money, right? So, think positive. So, anyway, enough of that. I wanted to show you this snowball viburnum. It's finally blooming this year. It didn't bloom last year. A smoke bush. I guess it's really a tree. I'm letting it grow into a tree, as you can see. It's pretty tall. But I really like that burgundy foliage in the garden. Had a cat fight over there for a minute. Let's see, what else is blooming? Oh, Amsonia. Amsonia is now in bloom. I love that icy blue color in the garden. Get a closer look at that. And I wish I had more of this. It's kind of hard to find. Don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but these four clumps of blue-purple salvias are what I dug up from over here in this garden, the triangle garden I call it. I just had two rows of the salvias. You can see where I dug them up. And my thought was to put a picket fence around this, but now I'm starting to think that with this picket fence here, and then putting picket fence around here to kind of close it in like a little room or whatever, I'm thinking that that's going to be too much picket fence. So that's why I planted the salvias like that, because I wanted the purple salvia on each side of the picket fence. But I changed my mind, so those salvias are rehomed in the main flower bed here. And I'm going to get more. I'm going to put some more, another drift of purple salvias here. And another drift of purple salvias in here. Hopefully I'm not making you guys sick. I'm trying to go slow. Right here was planted last fall. These are the white ones, Veronica. And I'm also going to get more of those. And in between the salvias, I'm going to do a drift of those. So it'll be like purple, white, purple, white, purple, white. I like those two colors together. Peonies have really popped up since the last garden tour. This one looks like it's got quite a few blooms on it. I'm really excited about that. I think these are only had these 2 or 3 years. But look at all the... If this camera would focus. There we go. All the buds on it. Let's see. I think I lost one part of this standard hydrangea tree. This limb here doesn't look like anything's going on with it, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Either keep it in a tree, which would look kind of funny without the 3 stems there. I may just cut it back and just let it be a bush or a shrub. Tripping over my pieces of stepping stone there. One of these days I'm going to completely redo the edge of this garden, but right now that's what I'm working with. White lilies there that I just planted. Grew them on during the winter. We got gladius coming up here. Not sure if I'm going to keep the glads in this garden. Like I said last year, I'm trying to keep certain colors in this main flower bed, and the glads are like red and yellow, and kind of want to keep more of the cool pastel colors. So those may be coming out. Need to take this bird cage off. Off of this peony. Kind of keeping it over it while it was young and tender. I was afraid the cats were gonna knock it over, beat it up while they were playing. We've got larkspur coming up, foxglove. Right. Here is Gara, pink Gara, which I absolutely love, but I had 6 plants around this spruce here, and only 3 came back, unfortunately. Blue spruce, I think I planted this the first year we were here. This is our fifth season, 5th year here. Probably one of my favorite trees is the blue spruce. I feel like I'm repeating a little bit each week, but hopefully you guys don't mind. Ajuga still looking good. The bees are liking it. And here is the back side of this garden, which is going to need a little work. So we got a hibiscus there that won't be coming up for a while. It's like one of the last things to come up in the garden. So right now we don't have a lot going on this time of year, but later in the year all of these clumps here are daylilies. Also planted perennial grasses in here last fall. There's one there. I got these from my grandma's house. One there. Thought I had at least 3 in there. This is the black and blue salvia. Jeez Louise. Okay, I'll show you guys the Solomon seal. It is in bloom. Now these blooms don't last very long, but I really love that foliage, which will last till the first frost, till about November. Got another patch of it right there. Hosta garden here. There's my shadow, as always. Hosta garden needs some work. I'm trying to get the rest of the Solomon seal out of here and plant it elsewhere, and I just want hostas in here. But I need to put some compost down. I need to get some more hostas, and I need to identify the garden border somehow. I forget what this plant is called. If you guys know what it is, please let me know in the comments. I would appreciate that. It gets this purple flower on it in the spring. And then I thought I lost them. I thought the dogs beat them to death last year, but I've got, oh, what is this? Jack Frost Brunnera. And it'll get some blue flowers on it. Usually it looks better than this, so anyway, just one of those things. We got Bleeding Heart over here. Got another hosta coming up here, and more of that plant. Now this back here is a work in progress, guys. I've got to get back here and get these red pavers up, because this is what I'm going with for the patio back here. I got these free from a friend, so thought that was a pretty good deal. Couldn't pass that opportunity up, but I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards the gray stones versus these red ones. So, not sure what I'm going to do with all the red ones, but that's what I'm liking a little bit better. Grass is very green this year, and I think it's because we had the ducks roaming around before the wind broke our gate off, as you can see over there. For now, they're in their little pen, but I need to get that fixed so we can have them back out here roaming and keeping our grass looking good. Again, this is a work in progress right here. Hopefully with this overtime coming my way, I can kind of get this wrapped up and start on this end of the landscape, which I've talked about before. These here were the Macrophylla hydrangea, the really big one that I dug up from the side of the garage there. You might remember that in a video. And I was worried about them not coming back. I thought I might have killed some of them, but thankfully they all have green growth on them. So I think that'll make a nice hedge here. They're kind of in an arch. So that's what's going on around the patio. I would rather have boxwoods, but I'm not sure how boxwoods are going to do with the light situation back here. As you can see, I've got these huge maples which are leafing out now, which is going to be casting a lot of shade back here. So anyway, if I had the money, they would all be coming down. So that leads me to my question of the day for this video. Something new I'm gonna start is asking y'all a question in my videos. I don't know if you guys watch Linda Vader. Is it Vader or Vader? Anyway, look her up on YouTube. Awesome garden channel. But anyway, she does a question of the day on her channel. But anyway, here it is. is there a boxwood that I can grow back here? This is like part sun ish over here, and for the most part it's full shade over in here, and I would like to do a boxwood hedge around this patio. So let me know if there is a variety of boxwood that can grow in those like conditions. Alright friends, so let's go out front and see what's going on out there. Alright, so here in this side yard, which was given to us by our neighbor buddy over here, she said, asked us how much room we needed for our garden, so she gave us this little strip of land through here. Actually, our property only goes to the pole, so she gave us this much, which was really nice of her. So last year, this is where I put my huge veggie garden. If you guys remember that, I had a little bit of everything out here, a lot of pumpkins. It was all wild and crazy. But the plan this year is I want to put raised beds in here, wood, and I'm going to start growing cut flowers. I want to do cut flowers this year instead of vegetables. We don't really eat a lot from the garden, and as much as I love my pumpkins, and I'm sure I will do them somewhere, maybe one or two, but it did get kind of wild and crazy over here. But that is the plan this year, is to start a cut flower garden. That way I can keep my flower beds and landscape looking good, but when I want to make bouquets for people and arrangements and vases for like the table or whatever, or for friends, I can come out here and just cut away and not take away from my garden. Alright, this hydrangea looks like it needs some water. But anyway, this is a bobo hydrangea, I believe. And I did divide, you might have caught that video, but I did divide the asters out front, purple asters. And I had an extra couple, so I put one there and one at the other end of this bed. I'm still amazed by these canna lilies. They made it through our winter, which wasn't really bad at all. I mean, it got really cold, but there wasn't a lot of ice or snow, so that's probably why they did okay. Not sure if they're going to stay there, but who knows. Right here is the other clump of aster. So I think my spireas took a hit with the that polar vortex we had early in winter, and I think it damaged the tops of my spireas a little bit. Usually they never look sparse like that. Just love that chartreuse bright green color in the garden. Again, the tops of these looking a little rough, but it is what it is. The knockout roses are coming back nicely. Showed you guys that in the last video. I don't know if I showed you this or not, the new border. I think I did. So I'm doing purple aster, catmint. You might remember the 4 big clumps of catmint in here, but by the shrubs, which was being overtaken by the shrubs. I divided that up, and it is now in the border. So we have purple aster, catmint, and lamb's ear. And then it just repeats. Aster, catmint, lamb's ear. Need to get the water hose up here and give all this a drink. But I did redefine this garden border up here and widen it again. The cats love the catmint, obviously. So yeah, got that done. I need to get some plastic, another row of plastic to put down, and some mulch. And up here in this garden, I use the pine bark. So I need to figure out and get this just right, where my borders come together on these two. That way I can place my arbor where it needs to go and be just right. But this is what I got done so far with this edge, this new edge. So right in here, it was cutting in very sharply that way. So I brought the edge out a little smoother. And who knows, it might come out even more. But anyway, things in here are going to get big. This is a Wine and Roses Weigela. I got another one over there, and these get really big. So they might even move to a different location, or be pushed back, because they will get huge. I mentioned again, I might do a hedge of limelight hydrangeas in the back of this garden bed. Not sure about that yet. But anyway, there's butterfly bushes in here, miscanthus grass. Hostas are coming up. I will probably put coleus back in here. So I am very, very behind on my seed starting this year. I got a few things going, but I'm getting ready to make my seed haul purchase. So yeah, very late in the season, but we got a long growing season here in Louisville, so everything should be just fine. Not going to get in a big rush this year. We still have plenty of time, so plus you never know our weather around here, if we're going to get a late freeze or frost. So anyway, friends, that brings me to the end of this garden tour for this week. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me. If you want to follow along this season or here on out, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. Talk soon.